The stage is dark, save for a single spotlight illuminating a woman seated in a high-back chair. Her clothes are simple, but her presence is commanding. She looks directly at the audience as she begins to speak. Her voice is calm, steady, and deliberate, with a faint undercurrent of defiance. They say death comes for everyone. They say it comes when it's time, no sooner, no later. I used to believe that, too. Until I borrowed it. She leans forward slightly, as if sharing a secret. It wasn't planned, mind you. I didn't wake up one morning and think, today, I'll borrow death. It happened on a Thursday. Quiet, unassuming Thursday. The kind of day that slips through your fingers unnoticed. But not that one. She smiles faintly, remembering. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the hills. I was walking home when I saw him. A figure cloaked in black, standing at the crossroads. I knew who he was before he even spoke. Death, she says, almost reverently. I should have been afraid. But I wasn't. Not really. Instead, I asked him why he was there. She pauses, her expression flickering with amusement. He said, I've come for someone. Just like that. No flair, no dramatics. And then he looked at me. Right at me. I thought, this is it. My time is up. But he shook his head. She tilts her head, mimicking death's expression. Her voice hardens, and she sits up straighter. I asked him who, then. Who he'd come for. He didn't answer, but I knew. It was my daughter. My baby girl. Just 14, her whole life ahead of her. Her voice trembles, but she steadies herself. I begged. I pleaded. I told him to take me instead. He wouldn't. Said it didn't work that way. But desperation makes you bold, doesn't it? She smacks, a glint of rebellion in her eyes. So I made him an offer. A trade. Borrow death, just for a day. I'd do his work, take his burden, if he spared her. She leans back, folding her hands in her lap. He laughed at first. A deep, echoing laugh that rattled my bones. But then he agreed. Her tone shifts, quieter now, as if recalling something sacred. I thought I'd be taking souls with a touch or a whisper. But it wasn't like that. No. Death is heavy. You carry it on your back, in your hands, in your heart. Every step, every breath, weighed down by the ones you're about to take. Her gaze darkens. And the worst part. The look in their eyes. The moment they know. I saw it again and again. A mother. A child. A soldier. A stranger. Their lives slipping through my fingers, and I couldn't stop it. She clenches her fist, her voice rising. But I kept going. For her. For my girl. One day. That's all he asked. She softens, a note of sorrow creeping in. When the sun rose, I went back to the crossroads. He was waiting. He didn't say anything, just took back the cloak. I asked if she was safe, and he nodded. Then he said something I'll never forget. She closes her eyes, her voice barely above a whisper. You borrowed death. But now, it will always know you. Her eyes snap open, piercing and alive. And he was right. I feel it, even now. Watching. Waiting. But it doesn't scare me anymore. She leans forward, her voice steady and resolute. Because I've carried it. I've held its weight. And I know, it's not the end. She stands, the spotlight following her as she steps forward. It's just another beginning. She walks off stage, leaving the audience in silence as the light fades to black.